Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a layout for the Confessions of a Paper Addict cut files design team, and I'm using the new gorgeous stitched rainbow cut file. So you can see once my camera focuses there that the cut file goes ahead and cuts out all the stitching holes for you, as well as the shape of the rainbow, so you don't have to go through and pierce all the holes, which I tell you what, when you're hand stitching on a layout, this is such a time saver. I don't have to sit there and pierce all the holes, but also the holes are kind of cut out for you. So instead of having that pushed out section you get when you pierce holes, it's just so much easier for your needle to go in and out. It just saves so much wear and tear on my hands. I just find it so much easier. So what I'm doing now is just going through it with a simple straight stitch, and I'm actually not doing a back stitch. I'm being lazy and doing a running stitch. So instead of sort of going up through the hole and stitching backwards, I'm just going in and out and in and out, kind of like a weaving pattern all the way along. And then I'm just going to turn around and come back, coming in like the opposite holes, if you get me. I'm just filling in the ones I skipped, so you end up with the same effect as a back stitch. It's just I don't know, I find it, maybe, I don't know whether it's easier, I just feel like it takes up less brain space because I'm just sort of stitching all in the one direction without having to really think about it. So there you go, there's the finished product, and I'm going to go ahead off camera, of course. I'm not going to make you watch me do the whole thing, but I stitched in between all of the different colors of the rainbow just with a white thread, and I use all 6 strands of thread. So this photo I am going to be scrapping is of my beautiful little daughter. You can see that she's got a little rainbow on her shirt, which is perfect, but she's lying on my son's big Ted, and she's got this beautiful big smile on her face, and she's just so beautiful in this photo. So I'm going ahead now and backing the rainbow. The collection I'm using is the Pebbles Hey Hello by Jen Hatfield. It's pretty new. It came out at the start of this year, and I have been itching to get my hands on it, and it's finally arrived, so I've jumped straight in, and I'm just going to use some of the pattern papers from the collection to back my rainbow. So I've just flipped over the cut file and the pattern paper, and I'm drawing or tracing out the shape of that I want on the reverse side, so the pencil lines don't show through on the front. And I don't know whether I mentioned, the cardstock I'm using is just one from a bulk pack that I have of pastel colors, so it's just a pale blue. There we go, I've just cut that out, and now I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. I'm just using a tacky glue. It's a no-name brand from Officeworks, and I'm just putting some glue all along the top of the stitching. The stitching is quite dimensional, so it will kind of recess the paper as if you'd popped it up on foam. And I do go in as well and put some little strips of foam on the edges of the cut file where there's no stitching, but I do that off camera. Just kind of helps to support the paper. Now here, this is a paper I've chopped up into a bunch of pieces to fussy cut those florals, but I really wanted some of the B-side, some of that red. I do have 2 of that paper, but I wanted to use one for a full background, so I didn't want to cut it up. And this was the only piece out of all those cut up pieces that just fit, only just fit that tiny little part of the rainbow at the bottom. So that was really, really lucky. And I've just used a bit of foam on the bottom there to support it, and then I will go in off camera and just trim off the excess. And there we go, the whole thing is backed. I've used that pink text in the top stripe of the rainbow. I used the yellow honeycomb in the middle, and then a kind of bluey floral pattern for the second from the bottom. And then the one above that is a purple glitter, and that's an actual kind of textured glitter paper. It's really, really pretty. So now I'm just going through my ephemera, and I've left this in because I just wanted to show you what I do when I go through a new collection. So I have just gone through and checked out everything that's in the ephemera pack, so I know. Then I'm trimming off those pretty foiled pieces off the packaging. And then I'm also snipping off the part of the packaging that has all the images on it, and I'm going to keep that in my stash with the ephemera. So I have a reference guide of what's in there, and if I feel like it, I probably won't, but if I feel like it, I will go through and cross off the ones I've used. I don't tend to do that with the ephemera, but I do it with titles. So that's a tip if you struggle to kind of remember what you've got left. So now I'm just going to back my photo with some pattern papers. All these 6x6 papers are ones I pulled out of my stash. I just pulled papers that match the colors in this collection, and I've chucked them in with the collection to use sort of the back photos and cut files and things, because I don't believe the 6x8 paper pad for this collection was available when I placed my order. I don't think either of the 6x8 paper pads that went with the collections that I ordered were available, because there have been production issues. Obviously, a lot of this stuff is made in China, and yeah, there have been issues, obviously. So I've just pulled ones. I have a big stash of 6x6 paper pads. They're really handy to have for this particular reason. So I just went through all of those and pulled out a stack of matching colors, and I don't know, to me, I don't think you would even know that they're not part of the collection, and I really like to mix and match anyway and get some of that stash used up, so this is a good opportunity for that. Now, I think this is the point where my battery decided to die, but I'm just going to do a final layer of that bright red to echo the red in the bottom of the rainbow there. And then I've gone through off camera and just spelled out my title. These stickers are the ones that came with this collection. I can't remember the name of them. Hello, maybe? They're just a pink with a white polka dot on them. No, they're called Hey. So I've just spelled those out on a bit of packaging there, and I've got them off to the side. I'm going to pop my photo up just on a bit of foam inside the rainbow there, where it's recessed because of that stitching dimension. So just give a bit of extra support under my photo there. So that's pretty much where that part of the title will go, just inside that pink section of the rainbow. Going to speed this up, don't worry. And then I'm going to come in with those gold, they're not thickers, they're from Kmart, they're chipboard alphas, and I'm just going to add a bit of wet glue because they're not very sticky. And then I will add some little glitter alpha stickers from the dollar store, the gold glitter, to spell out our rainbow baby. So I'm not going to go too much into it in this video because it might be triggering for some people, but if you've never heard that term before, go Google it, and if you are familiar with the term, then you know, you may you may have experienced something like this yourself, and you know, there is nothing more precious than a precious rainbow baby, and actually both my babies are rainbow babies, so yeah. I don't journal on this page because I don't know what I could possibly say. The words just aren't there for me, but you know, I think just the beauty and the colour and the happy look in her face in this page just kind of sum everything up for me. It doesn't really need words. So I'm going through the ephemera here. I have created a couple of clusters. I'm going on that kind of diagonal from the top right to the bottom left. And you'll see me do this quite a bit. I've tried to cut most of it out, but all the die cuts in this collection have a really thick white border, and some of them are cut quite not centered at all, so it's not even around the die cut, which really irritates me. So I think I've gone through most of the ephemera pack now and cut off the white border on most of those. I do go through with the stickers and do most of those as well. So yeah, it's a bit annoying. The only problem I have with this collection, because I adore this collection otherwise, but yeah, that's just it kind of really annoys me. I'm going through now with some adhesive foam, and I'm just popping up the parts of the ephemera that is sort of hanging over those recessed parts or off the edge of my photo, because I've put quite a few photo layers or paper layers behind my photo now, so it's quite dimensional. So I've popped in that floral cluster sticker. I love that little bike down there. I know some of these don't, I don't know, some people might not like some of the icons in this collection, like the snail. I heard a few people complaining about like the bathtub and the girl heads, and I think there are a couple of other things. I know a lot of people don't like bikes. For me, I just kind of think embrace the weirdness, have a little touch of whimsy on your layout. You know, it doesn't have to be perfectly literal. I kind of like those quirky little bits, because otherwise every collection would be exactly the same, and that's just boring. So that's my take on that. But you know, if you don't like them, pop them on a card or something. Donate them to your kid's school or your local kindy. Like, I'm sure someone else can use them if you don't like them. But try to think outside the box. You know, try to get outside your comfort zone. Use something a little bit weird and whimsical. I think it's always fun. I love these little lady beetles. So this is the sticker pack. Comes with 6 sheets of stickers. And I really like all the little sort of tiny stickers in this collection. Those little butterflies, again, I'm cutting off the border. It's driving me nuts, but I love those little butterflies. I love the little lady beetles, there's little bees that I'll come in with, those little hearts and flowers, and I think there's too many sunglasses in this layout, in this collection, to be honest. Yeah, like there's 2 rows of little sunglasses on that sheet, and then there's more on the accessory sticker sheet. So I can kind of see where people are coming from in that respect. But yeah, I kind of like the odd little bits and pieces. Okay, now I'm going to go, of course, what else? Splatters with my white Liquitex acrylic ink and my gold Color Mist. Like white and gold splatters, it wouldn't be a layout of mine without them. At this point, I feel like I use them on nearly everything. So that top part of the layout is just, it's plain blue cardstock, so it's just a little bit too plain for me. You guys know how I feel about empty space. So I'm just doing splatters up in that section. I'm not going to do it on the pattern paper rainbow because it's already visually interesting with all the different pattern papers and the hand stitching. So that is it for me. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to go check out the shop and the Facebook group. The link will be in the description box below. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.